Happy Pollinator Week 2020. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray, and thank you so much for joining me today. This is a special video because this week, June 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th, the whole week is National Pollinators Week. This is one of those national weeks, you know, there's so many, but this is one of those that really is good to celebrate and to understand, and it is building that knowledge across our country to get people to understand how vitally important our pollinators are. So this is a week that all gardeners should be mindful of their pollinators and be thankful for them as well. So this video is going to be about that. So today we're here in my garden, and I'm going to show you a few things here about pollinators. Now, in my mind, and this is just Ray, this is just Horticulture Geek talking, you can find other sources out there as well, but there are three things. If you want pollinators in your garden, which you should, there are three things that you need to provide for them, just like you would provide for yourself. You need to provide food, water, and shelter. You wouldn't live in a place if you didn't have food, water, or shelter. So guess what? Our pollinators aren't going to live in your yard if you don't have those three things either. Now, another important thing to throw in here is to not only think about the bees. Bees are wildly important to pollination, but they're not the only ones that get the job done. You also have butterflies, moths, wasps, flies, some small mammals, and birds. Anything that will drink nectar or take pollen from a flower and move it around to another plant, to another flower, is a pollinator. Butterflies are a huge thing. A lot of people want those in the garden for beauty, but they are pollinators. And don't be killing all your wasps and flies, because those are beneficial too. Now, sometimes they're a nuisance, we get it, but you want to make sure you're not killing all those things. You want to welcome all the pollinators into your garden. So now let's walk around the garden, and I'm going to show you some of the plants I have that are pollinator attractors, the ways that I feed the pollinators. And then we'll also look at some of the ways I house pollinators. I provide them shelter, and I provide them water. So let's flip the camera around and go look at some of these things. One of the best things for hummingbirds, which are pollinators, are tubular flowers like this firecracker plant. This is a specific type of flower that has adjusted itself to be pollinated by a hummingbird. So it doesn't really rely on bees. So if you want to attract hummingbirds to your yard as pollinators or just to enjoy them, you want something like this that has a long tubular flower that the hummingbird can reach its proboscis down in and get all that stuff, its tongue. And there are certain moths that will, like a hummingbird moth or some other types, that will use this as well. So these are fun to have. You can't forget the ever faithful coneflowers. They flower all summer long, they look beautiful, and the pollinators go crazy for them. So anything that puts out large flower heads that are easy for bees and bugs and critters to get on and move pollen around is going to work really well for you. Salvias are pretty good. Here we have a bee balm. It's fragrant, it's good. Oh, and here's a bumblebee going around it right now. So you can see how the bee gets in there, and it's working its proboscis down into the flowers. It's drinking the nectar, and it is pollinating as it goes. Sometimes letting plants go to flower that you normally wouldn't let go to flower, such as a Dusty Miller or a lamb's ear, can help as well. Now these lamb's ear spikes are just about done, but you can see right there how many, they were covered with the purple flowers at one point, and in their peak there was probably, gosh, 50 to 60 bees and other critters buzzing this plant at any given time for about 3 to 4 weeks. It was amazing how many pollinators were just attacking this plant in its prime. I've got some more coneflowers, some salvias. This is a butterfly bush. So again, if you want to attract butterflies, they specifically look for things like butterfly bush. And I also have a butterfly weed or a milkweed. Now, if you want monarch butterflies, you have to have a milkweed. The next thing we want to talk about is shelter for your pollinators. And this is something that's easy to do. I made this insect hotel. You can buy insect hotels, you can buy bee boxes, all those things. Now, honeybees obviously require a hive, a nuke that you're gonna, that's a whole nother topic. But for just a backyard gardener, you want to provide somewhere for your insects to have a place to curl up. So here you can see the wooden tubes. This is specifically for the bumblebees or carpenter bees. They like to get in there. The long slits are for butterflies and moths. They like to find somewhere where they can crawl in and get protection from wind. And then the little holes attract ladybugs and some other things that are looking for a home. So provide your pollinators or somewhere they can find shelter from storms and get out of wind and breezes. And then if they have somewhere they can go, and they will also, you know, obviously hide in some plants and rest in some plants, but they're looking for places. So give them somewhere to go and they'll attract to your yard. And the other thing that you want to provide your pollinators is a water source. They do want water, they need water. Now here in my garden, if you follow my channel, you know I've got several water features. I've got the cherub water fountain, I've got the fish pond, I've got the bowl water fountain that we created on a video. I've even got the swimming pool, which is not ideal because it's chlorinated water, but I've got it. And I've got a barrel water fountain. But all you want for a water source for most pollinators, which is bees, butterflies, and moths and things, is they need a place where they can land on a surface and get down to the water without actually getting in the water or getting caught up in the water. And so if you don't have a water fountain, this is something super simple to do, and I've got an example right here for you. All you need is a saucer. This is a small terracotta saucer that I picked up at a garden center. This cost me under $3. And I've got some pebbles and rocks. The pebbles and rocks came out of my garden. They were free. And I just put a little splash of water in there. What this does is it provides the opportunity for your butterflies and bees. They can come and land on the edge of the rim of the saucer, or they can land on a stone and they can get their feet wet if they want to. They can lick the sides of the saucer if they want to. However that particular species of insect or pollinator is comfortable drinking, this is the ideal situation. And the beauty about this is you don't need a pump, you don't need anything. You just want to put fresh water out every single day for your pollinators. It doesn't require much water, as you can see, just a little bit. If you live somewhere where it's hot, you might want to check it a couple times a day if you have that ability, but put water out for them. That way they can drink and they'll have what they need to find your garden hospitable. So there you have it, guys. It's not hard. You just have to put a little thought process and a little work into creating a habitat to attract pollinators. And here is the beauty of doing this. Once you have a housing source, a food source, and a water source set up in your garden, Once you have that routine established where you're checking your water saucers or doing that kind of thing, the pollinators will come and they will stay. And once you have pollinators attracted to your garden, you have created a lasting and vibrant ecosystem. Your garden will begin to flourish. Your flower production will increase, your fruit and vegetable crop production will increase, and your plants will probably be healthier and happier because they're getting everything they need and your pollinators are getting everything they need. So your garden will literally come alive. You will have fluttering butterflies and buzzing bees, and I know some people don't like it, but to me and my garden would not be the same without all the life and beauty that comes to this space. I can sit out here and watch the bees and the butterflies and the moths and things just flutter around and buzz around. It's incredible. I love watching it. To me, it's beautiful, it's entertaining, and there's just something about that in the garden that gives a gardener a sense of completion. Like you have done something and your ecosystem is thriving that you've set up. So I hope each and every one of you will take these small tips. And again, you know, I'm no expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert. There are lots of videos out there that you can watch. You can get more information. There's more information out there than you ever thought possibly existed. Just Google it, and I promise you, you'll find stuff. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope this inspires you to really be considerate about what pollinators are coming to your garden and how you can get more. So from my garden to yours, I wish you guys a happy National Pollinator Week, and I wish you all the best in your gardening. And hey, give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and leave some comments below if you have any more tips or tricks to attract and keep pollinators to the garden. Y'all have a good one. See you next time.